Travis Wayne Goodsell. We're gonna do this video. I'm planning on putting the new clip I just made from the earlier video I just made, the three scripture cliff notes of Mormonism, because that's a good clip to include in all my videos to summarize things for you. That is Mormonism. And if you're not studying your scriptures, there's the cliff notes. Use them wisely, because apply them to all scriptures. And I'll be putting in Joseph Smith's Last Supper talk, which has significant bearing. He's prophesying of the fall of the great and abominable church, and it includes Passover, but the Last Supper. Guys, are you paying attention? YouTube has already screwed me. They're now counting homepage hovers as views, and my views tanked yesterday as a result of it. Dear God. And so, yeah, I had 100 towering over all the other average views because we're now post-conference. But to have a 0 hour, and then the rest was just like ones and twosies. Dear God, they just screwed me big time. And so the few of you who are able to watch this video, you guys are the elite, I guess. Except for those of you who come to my channel purposely to put a thumbs down. You can't just give me religious freedom, can you? So let's go over the actual crucifixion judgment, or the trial. I keep telling you guys to pay attention to what's going on, and I do props for you to figure out what's going on, to help you. I've now given you the three scripture cliff notes. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff here. That's why I wanted to go over it with you guys. And so he's sent to Caiaphas, the Jesus character. The three scriptures, it's not Jesus. Are we clear on this? This is apocalyptic literature. These are prophecies of the latter days, like the Book of Revelation. And the Jesus character is the Mormon. And so he's brought before the president of the Great and Abominable Church. And the Great and Abominable Church president wants him murdered. We're starting in Mark, because there's some differences. Here's the government who betrays him, washes their hands of judging him. And yes, that got fulfilled, guys. Dear God, this is like incredible. But let's go back into 14 with verse 53. And they led Jesus away to the high priest, and with him were assembled all the chief priests and elders of the scribes. And there Peter followed him from afar off. He betrays him thrice with the cock crowing. Remember that? Peter, the seer. That's what it means in Egyptian. Peter, seer, Egyptian. Betrays the Christ. Who's Peter? The Great and Abominable Church prophet, brought before the high priest, the Great and Abominable Church prophet. Betray, wants him dead, orders his assassination. Are you paying attention, guys? Are you figuring this out? You should all be going, holy crap, I'm having a faith crisis. because you didn't prepare yourselves and now you're going in shock. This is happening, guys. This is all being fulfilled. And so many false witnesses against him. Dear God, this is accurate. And so ye shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. That's signs in the heavens for 2 more years, guys. I've been telling you about this. And so the high priest rents his clothes and saith, what need we any further witness? He thinks it's blasphemy. He believes in Jesus rather than a man like Moses, the Mormon. And so, yeah, they all condemned him to be guilty of death. Dear God, this is so accurate. And I've been trying to get through, and YouTube is just making it worse in the final hours. Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. Dear God, how accurate. But if you're thinking he's supposed to die, you're wrong. He's not. But if they're thinking on these terms, yeah, they've already got it set up for all this after Passover. And so, yeah, Pilate washes his hands, doesn't want to deal with it, passes it on to the other judge, all being fulfilled here, guys. And that judge recuses herself and passes it back to actually to another judge who's a former cop. Dear God, it just blows my mind. Because, yeah, there's some things going on, guys. And if you're just going to mock me, you're going to miss out on the biggest event in this world's history that has been prophesied about since the origin of man with the Egyptians. And so, yeah, save yourself. Save yourself. Why do you stop hitting yourself? Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. So here's another thing that's important to understand. When the 6th hour was come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. 3 hours. No, guys, 3 days. They're telling us the story about the 3 days of darkness, the 3 solar eclipses. There is a solar eclipse on the 30th of this month, not related to the religious part, not these. 3 days of darkness is 2 more years. I believed he was Elijah, with Elias is Elijah in Greek. And so Elijah is supposed to come in the latter days. The Jews are waiting for Elijah. They're going to be setting out a place setting for Elijah Friday night, tomorrow night. Every single meal for 8 days this time, because it's a leap year for the Jews. We had second Adar. They're waiting for the return of Elijah, who will explain the scriptures to them and save them. And yet Joseph Smith reached out to them with the Book of Mormon saying, hey guys, no, we know where to look for your Christ. He's Mormon. And so, yeah, he dies, gave up the ghost. The veil of the temple was rent in twain from top to the bottom. The fall of the great and abominable church. The temple is destroyed. And so people say, oh, well, this was written after 72 AD when the Jerusalem temple was destroyed. Apocalyptic literature. You're missing the whole point. And so, yes, is it I from Joseph Smith? Here, this is what follows. Joseph Smith talking about the Last Supper. Thursday, today, Last Supper. There are those of you who will betray me. The great and abominable church president seek to murder the Mormon. Are you not catching on to this, guys? Dear God, this should put all of you into great shock. All two of you. And two of you are the guys who are coming out and putting thumbs down just on purpose. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. Those others, there were more than two. But, yeah, and then we get to 2 years from now. So let's go over again with you in Matthew. 26? Yep. Betrayed by Judah, Utah. Phonetically the same. Brought before the president of the great and abominable church, Caiaphas. They name him this time, rather than calling him the high priest. And then there's Peter, denies knowing him. Cock-a-doodle-doo, 3 times. Betrayed. Just to a T, guys. Dear God. The scriptures are true here. Do you understand this? The Gospels, though they're not literal history, are true as apocalyptic literature. They're not true as literal history. They are true as apocalyptic literature. Exactly like the Book of Mormon. Not true as literal history, true as apocalyptic literature. Joseph Smith's history about the first vision and Nephi and the Egyptian gold treasure plates. True as apocalyptic literature. Not true as literal history. Ex-Mormons, do you understand this? You know it's not true as literal history, both Joseph Smith's history and the Book of Mormon, but they are true as apocalyptic literature. Do you understand why I'm freaking out? The scriptures be fulfilled, that thus it must be. Verse 54 in Matthew 26. And so the bearing false witness to have him murdered. Holy crap. And I can't, I have it as a separate video, but I'm going to bring it up to you. How is it that the president and the prophets of the great and abominable church are fulfilling every single prophecy of evil of the great and abominable church? That just blows my mind. They have to be celestial to know all scriptures and their correct interpretation. And the president of the great and abominable church sucks as a translator. How can he figure out scripture if he can't even translate them correctly? It blows my mind. Literally. How are they doing this? Because they don't seem smart enough to know how to do it on purpose, to self-fulfill it. This just blows my mind. Dear God. And so, he is guilty of death, and Peter denies him. Cock crew 3 times. Mocked, crucified. And so, King of the Jews. Yeah, notice 3 times denied, betrayed. That 3 numbers showing up here. 30 pieces of silver to betray him, rather than 20 pieces for Joseph, betrayed by Judah. and son of the father was released instead of son of the father. Aramaic. Bar, son. Abba, father. Son of the father. It's a little play on word game that the author is doing here for you. And yeah, again, the back and forth with the courts. Are you not paying attention, guys? Maybe you guys have abandoned this. That you went into shock already. Maybe that's what it is. I thought the church was true. I thought the Book of Mormon was a literal history and that we didn't have to worry about, because Jesus was going to do everything for us. He's going to come from outer space and zap the wicked, and we can practice polygamy in peace. It pisses me off when Mormons use the justification, hey, we're consenting adults. No, it doesn't work that way in the Mormon church. The presidency and the apostles are the ones in charge of it, which means they are not giving you agency. They are sex trafficking. It's sex slavery. Big difference between a guy and multiple women, all consenting adults, saying, hey, we want to have sex with this one guy and have children and families and such. Big difference from a leader of a religion saying you will practice polygamy if you want to be worthy and inherit the afterlife glory of the celestial kingdom. Big difference. And so that's why there are no laws against going to a bar or a club and picking up a different woman every single night or once a week, working for the weekend. That's what the world does. There's no law against that. You can buy her drinks, take her home, have your way with each other, and it's not illegal. In some places in America, and most places in America, it's illegal to pay for sex, except if you go to a bar and buy her a drink. I don't understand. It's the same thing. It's just a woman at the bar. Well, it depends on how expensive the drinks are. But, dear God. But it's considered consensual in that scenario. But a president of the church saying you must obey or you're going to be wicked and punished? No, not okay. Mormons do not understand this. You can't be willing to subject yourself into bondage. It's like little children, underage persons. It doesn't matter if they consent. They're underage. It's automatically illegal in those cases. Likewise, those who are in a religion, they cannot have, threats of guilt or worthiness and reward in order to have sex. That's why the Supergirl character was locked up in prison for what she did. She facilitated other women to join this guy's group to have sex with him. They may have been consenting, but no, wrong. You can't do it that way. Wrong way. He needs to do it on his own. To hang out around the cast and crew. Hey baby, want to have sex with me? Okay. Consenting adults. And there's nothing wrong with that, but the way it was done was wrong. There's a difference. There is a line. It is black and white. There's no gray area. So, Got that out of the way. I just have been getting too many women and men who are in denial of that. They don't understand the law. And now Utah, decriminalized polygamy. Yeah, well, for that one family, because they were all consenting. As long as he doesn't have a president of the church that's saying, well, you have to do it in order to be worthy and be rewarded. I don't think he has a president, does he? It's just him doing it on his own? I don't know. But to decriminalize it altogether was wrong of them. Dear God. But yeah, they're doing it for the church. Because they want it back. I keep telling you guys this. I warn you. So anyway, gives up the ghost. Eloi, Eli, lama sabachthani. Thinks he's Elijah who's come for Passover. Friday. Tomorrow. And gives up the ghost. Veil of the temple was rent in twain from top to bottom. And here's an interesting addition. The earth did quake and the rocks rent. So the great earthquake is associated with the fall of the great and abominable church? That's interesting. We'll have to wait and see if that happens. Which version of the Gospels is true? But if you know your Book of Mormon passage about Zenock and Zenos and Neum, I think something like that, who had different prophecies that are all supposed to be combined together for the full picture. So the same situation here is what they're referring to. And so, yeah, we're looking for the fall of the great and abominable church. Renting of the temple is the symbol of that. And that triggers the Exodus. From the Exodus itself story. Pharaoh's firstborn dies. Temple is destroyed. You may leave. And then he wants them back for slavery purposes and gets destroyed. Sign of the heavens, by the way. Been going over that with you all this week. It just blows my mind how accurate the signs in the heavens, the scriptures, everything so far has been fulfilled, but we're not there yet. I've been waiting for this moment for all of my life. Oh Lord. I can feel it coming in the air and dying. Yep. So yeah, there's 8 April 2024. 2 years from now. So the sign in the heavens with the crucifixion. But this, dear God, guys, wake up. Wake up. Let's see if there's something similar for Luke. Well, Christ is taken before Pilate in 23, which means, before the cock crow thou shalt deny me thrice. Yeah, there was something in Matthew. Wait a minute, we missed that. I'd seen that earlier. Are you kidding me? Where was that? It had to do with the temple. Zombie apocalypse of the Mormons. Where did I see that? See, there's the 6th hour was darkness over the land to the 9th hour. Yeah, there it is. In verse 40 of Matthew 27. Thou that destroyest the temple and buildest it in 3 days, save thyself, if thou be the Son of God. Come down from the cross. The cross is 8 April 2024, when the temple is rebuilt. 3 days. But then they talk about the temple being destroyed and 3 hours of darkness. To see how the author is doing this little 3 thing. Okay. This is just, wow. So Luke was 23, was it? Taken before Pilate? No, it was 22. Cock crows. Jesus is blindfolded. Took him unto the priest's house. So they won't call him Caiaphas in this one either. Yeah, they don't call him Caiaphas. And there's Peter, the betrayer. The Utah. It just blows my mind how some people think that the scriptures have to be taken literally true, that the actual English pronunciations have to be literally true. Jehovah's Witness, for a case in example, they purposely altered the scriptures to put in Jehovah God, that it has to be pronounced Jehovah God. No. Your leader should have told you about that. They should have told you what they were doing. They mocked him. Wow. Yeah. It's amazing how this is being fulfilled, right, Mormons? Dear God, guys. Do you understand? Is there anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? Tribute to Pink Floyd, who did a Ukrainian tribute song the other day, was it? Earlier this week? Or was it last week? And then John Lennon's son did a re-singing of Imagine for Ukraine. Yeah, that one's on the 30th. The government is for the sun. Remember? Those of you who have been paying attention? Sun, government, right eye of Horus, the Mormon, left eye, religion, moon, left eye of Horus, the Mormon. The 2 eyes together are Peter, for seer. Thus, Peter betraying eclipses. Blinded. Eclipses. I've gone over this before. And so Samson, blinded, destroys the temple. Bruce R. McConkie. He's tied up to the building pillars. We're not going to talk about the building of the Philistines and the pillars of the... No, we're not going to... No. Not saying... No, we're not. It's not. Jesus! Jesus! I will know no better now than I will know then. And both a solar and a lunar eclipse for him. That just blew my mind. This is just, guys, this is the coolest thing in the universe to be a religious person. You guys are missing out if you want to be atheists. Atheists. Dear God. So, yeah. And so he's being accused. The court process to have him assassinated. The judge recusing herself. And another judge is appointed. This is all too... This is mind-boggling. I can't think of the word to say to fully encapsulate this. And so, yeah, that's April 2024. Where's the temple was rent? Yeah, the sun was darkened. Luke, They actually call it the sun darkened. A solar eclipse, guys. But not the 30th. No, not that one. That's a different thing. That's Putin's territory. That's what Putin's up to. And it's for May 1st. And if you don't understand May 1st, I again refer you Joseph Smith, 19 July 1840. The betrayers, their symbol from the particular group that was organized on May 1st, and Brigham Young dedicated the temple, the Nauvoo Temple, on May 1st as a tribute, and put their symbol on that temple on May 1st when it was dedicated. How obvious, how much more obvious do you need it to be, Mormons and ex-Mormons? He was bold and brazen. It's on the keystone of the Salt Lake Temple. You know who I'm talking about. I don't need to code it for you anymore, do I? It just, wow. And so, yeah, they say 6th hour, 9th hour, but sun darkened. But yeah, this is a thief in the night stuff, guys. It's Passover night. It's already dark. They're talking about solar eclipses. The 3 solar eclipses. X marks the spot for where Zion is supposed to be built. Joseph Smith tells us this in 19 July 1840. And he even tells us in that same talk, you guys think it's Missouri? It's not. And again, I did the video, and I've been doing the videos. The first shall be last, last shall be first. But this just, wow. Today shalt thou be with me in paradise. Yeah, Zion. So, do we need to go over the Book of Mormon one for you? Samuel the Lamanite. The death sign. 3 days of darkness in the Book of Mormon. And then Jesus on 8 April comes to paradise, bountiful. Zion to the temple that has been rebuilt. Because destruction happens for the next 2 years. We just had tornadoes. I warned you of the tornadoes in advance. Blows my mind. We're done.